Hey everybody, this is Rustin with Metalholic and Metalholic Radio. With us this evening, Matt Sinner of Primal Fear, Voodoo Circle, Silent Force, and of course Sinner. How are you doing, brother?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 2014 already, but you've got a big 2014 lined up. You know, the last time I spoke to Mike Portnoy, I told him he was perhaps the busiest man in rock and roll. And I now believe that may actually be you. When do you have time to breathe?
Now. Yeah, I think it's a question if you love your job or you don't love your job. I love my job, and it makes me a lot of good vibes and fun, and great music is a very special thing. And it was my kind of hobby. And now it's my job, so I'm very thankful that I could my hobby to make it to my job. So it's cool for me.
Right, and you're involved in all aspects of it. You know, the business end, the production end, and of course performing and recording music too. So you dabble in all of it.
Yeah, that's all okay for me. I'm a guy who was always had a lot of fun and to get a creative process like in a recording studio together. So a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm prefer the stage and the live shows." I was always happy in the studio to create new music, to bring all the instruments together and make an album. That was always a great job for me. So I can't complain with nothing.
Well, to start this year off, you have two huge albums coming out. Let's talk about both of them. Let's start with the reason we're on this phone conversation right now. Primal Fear releasing their newest, Delivering the Black, which to me is sort of a bigger, badder version of Unbreakable.
That was the target. So overall, we started with a feeling that Unbreakable was an album, the fans loved it, and we get a huge success chart-wise in Europe and also in some other countries. So there was no big changes needed in the musical direction, because if the people love something and they want to buy a new Primal Fear album, they should get what they want. So we sit down and talked about the songwriting and the direction of the album, and we soon came up with some ideas. We just wanted to have a better performance by everybody on the album. We want to work on stronger riffs, stronger melodies, a more powerful sound, and still improve a lot on this one. And that's the targets. We worked hard on it, and after the first days of songwriting, I think we were always on a good track, and we were very happy about what we're doing here. And so all the vibe and the feelings in the band were really, really positive this time. So it was really nice to work with everybody in the studio, and no real angry discussions or something like that. It was very creative, very straight to the point, and everybody gave more than 100%. So it was a really, really, really good working on this album.
The one thing I noticed, being a guitar player myself, is I appreciate the fact that you've got two phenomenal guitar players in the band with two different styles in Magnus and Alex, and they blend so well together on this album. You can really sort of pick out what each of them does, but it blends so well together.
Yeah, and that was also a big help to get this melody-wise, lead guitar riff-wise, this album to the next level, to Unbreakable, was that they are both good friends, both very peaceful with each other, no big egos and stuff is going on. So that was a big help in creating this album, because the guitar is mainly the only instrument in the band who's playing melodies.
Right. Right. One thing that I've always had a problem with in a lot of metal albums is the bass gets submerged. And I know it's supposed to be to some level, but Your bass on most any album I've ever heard, and especially on this one, sounds really full. You can really feel that. You can feel it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I like that that's more to the front and not buried in the mix.
Yeah, but I was always, my impression on that one is that I'm a team player. My ego is very small because I can sing backing vocals. I'm one of the main songwriters, and I'm the producer of the album. So I don't have to come up with a bass guitar solo, for example, to for my ego. I don't have this. I think the point is very simple. My playing should be a good foundation for the songs and should be in a great connection with the drums. So that's it.
Right. You're there to serve the song, not yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, at the same time the new Primal Fear album is coming out, the new Silent Force record will be released. It's been, I think, 7 years since the last one. Tell us about Rising from the Ashes from your perspective.
Oh, my input in this album is a lot of smaller than on a Primal Fear album.
Right.
You have to excuse because my input in a Primal Fear album is my top priority at the moment.
Right.
And Primal Fear is touring the whole world in 2014. And Alex is my partner in a lot of projects, in a lot of bands and albums, and he has still one album to do for Silent Force. And he came up with some songs and some ideas and asked me if I could help him on that one, business-wise and direction-wise. And of course, I helped my brother, and I played bass on the album and just checked the whole business side of thing for him. So what it's around the music and the production. I was still involved in some little spots, but you can't compare this to my work to Primal Fear.
Oh no, of course not. But it's still it's a phenomenal album. My favorite song on it right now is "There Ain't No Justice." Currently, who knows what it'll be tomorrow? But since you were a little bit more removed from this than say a Primal Fear album, are there one or two tracks that sort of stand out for you on that record?
On the Silent Force or the Primal Fear?
The Silent Force.
Oh, I love "Living to Die." I think it's melody-wise a great song. But overall, I think the whole album is very positive, very, very well done, and also the work of Michael, the singer. I think it's really, really good, and I wasn't sure in the beginning if he's the right one, but he did a great job on the album, and I was absolutely surprised about his professional style and how he nailed it. I think he did a great job on the Silent Force album.
So I agree. It's an incredible album. Jumping back to Primal Fear, obviously, you already alluded to it. You're going to spend a great crux of the year out on the road with Primal Fear. I'm assuming that means you'll also be coming back to the States. Tell us a little bit about what's on tap in support of this album this year.
So we'll start actually in January 23rd. It's not so far away.
Right.
First show of the European tour in Hamburg. This tour will end up in Slovakia and on February 16th. So we will be on the road for 4 weeks in Europe. Then we take a little break. Then 4 musicians of Primal Fear are involved in a project called Rock Meets Classic.
Right, which I want to ask you about in just a minute.
Yeah, okay, then we talk later about the content. So, and this starts in early March to the beginning of April. Then I have a big festival with Sinner. And then we're coming to the States and play the first show on April 29th, going through till May 24. Then we're playing summer open air festivals. Then we will have some more summer festivals until August. Then we go into South America, play a 2-week tour in South America. Then I have Voodoo Circle on the Prog Power Festival in Atlanta
Right, first
in
time they'll be here.
mid-September. Yeah, and then we're going to Japan, and a little bit later we're going to Australia. And between Japan and Australia are more shows in Europe.
Wow.
So I'm more on the road than at home.
Hopefully you have sturdy luggage.
Oh, well, I'm getting used to it. I'm not doing this for the first time, so I have some strategy.
Well, jumping back, you just mentioned it, Rock Meets Classic. Is this, I can't remember if this is the 5th or the 6th year, but you've been doing it for a good half a decade or more.
Yeah, fifth tour.
And this year, Alice Cooper, my boy Alice will be over there. You got a couple of the guys from Uriah Heep, Jolyn Turner, and of course, you know, most of Primal Fear is performing, Amanda Somerville. You got a lot of great talent up on that stage. That is a lot of work and effort to pull together every year. How do you manage to find time and energy for that?
I think this is one of the finest and the most creative projects I ever worked on. So we started 6 years ago to collect ideas to make this happen, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It was now an arena tour, and we're all very happy about that. So far, I'm the co-producer of the whole tour and the musical director, and this is the big job for me, which nearly every day I have some phone calls to do or work on the music. I just came home from 4 days rehearsing with the orchestra in Prague. This is the 45-piece orchestra, the Bohemian Symphony Orchestra in Prague, and young people, they know the music, they love the music, so it's a great chemistry between rock music and symphonic music, and making some songs of the classic 80s stuff sounding band versus orchestra is really exciting, and I think it's a great project, and I love to work, and I'm looking out for that tour. I think I was on stage with Ian Gillan of Deep Purple playing Highway Star and Perfect Strangers and Smoke on the Water and that stuff. Last year I was on stage with Paul Rodgers playing the big Bad Company and Free songs, and with such a great singer. It was amazing. Steve Lukather. I could stand aside of Steve Lukather and play Rosanna and Hold the Line. I think I enjoyed it a lot. And this year, Alice Cooper. Oh, that's songs of my youth I've grown up with. So I'm looking forward to do this. This is the great thing, exciting thing, big production. I think 100 people on the road, at least 60 people on stage, and I'm really looking forward to go on the road with this again.
That's just, and you guys have got to start making DVDs of this, because obviously those of us in the States don't get the chance to see it or hear it. So
yeah, but you have always the music business as a big problem, that there are a lot of managers involved, a lot of record companies involved, a lot of distributors and publishers involved. So to get everybody on one table, it's not easy.
Yes,
that was always our target, to do something like that, but it's very difficult.
So very true. And of course, knowing the type of person you are, I'm going to guess you're already looking at and working on 2015. I doubt there's much, but is there anything you can share with us at this point about what Rock Meets Classic will look like next year?
It will look great, but my lips are sealed. I can't say anything about it now. We have plans, we have targets, we have artists. We already talk since some weeks for 2015, and we have a great lineup together. But as long as it's not official, I should better shut up.
Perfect. Weren't you also working last year on a project with Russell Allen from Symphony X and Adrenaline Mob?
Yes.
What's going on with that?
I think it's a phenomenal album. It's something different. It's different than all his other projects. For me, it's a kind of very powerful classic rock.
Nice.
And his voice fits so good, and he's singing like a god on this album. So the problem is, Frontiers Records have big plans for this album and needs to find a point where the release is worth it. So they think they release it in January 2015. So they will produce some video clips for the album. They have big expectations, but I have to wait another year till the release. But this album is really, really rocking.
Wow, so it's already done and in the can, but we got to wait a year and a half for it, huh?
Absolutely, that's politics, and well, I have to support the record company in their plans. If they have good plans, it's good for me, so I have to support them.
There you go. Have they put a name? Is there a name for the project yet?
It's called Level 10. Level 10 featuring Russell Allen and Matt Sinner.
Nice, nice. All right, so we can look forward to that. Let's talk producing real quick. You got last year you did Helker, which was a phenomenal album, and then you're working on the Kiski Somerville 2 album, I believe.
Yeah, we not record. We are just doing the songwriting. We have still another 4 songs to go, 9 songs already, and we will start tracking, I think, in April or when I'm back from America. So the album, nice. The second Kiss Kiss Somerville album will be out, I think, in September or October.
Sweet. And then I've always wanted to ask, as a musician, I mean, because you're involved in so much of this, but as a musician, what do you get from producing that you don't get from performing?
I think the creative process of producing a band or an artist is, for me, a wonderful process. Yeah, and for me, it's great to work with people who are that talented. That's the most important point for me. Like, to write songs and to work with Russell Allen, for example, that was a great experience for me. So even I have to wait now for the release, and it's always tricky for a musician to keep cool. But the production and the whole music till we get the mixing, the album and stuff. This is a really great thing for me. So of course I love to be a musician, and there is nothing cooler than to stay aside of Alice Cooper and play with him on stage. But I also prefer a lot of the studio and songwriting work. It's a great part of music for me.
Well, and I would imagine the other part of that is, obviously, being on stage is very spontaneous and in the moment. But the stuff that you record and that you produce and help create like that lasts an eternity. So,
absolutely. I always say, if you have a bad show, you had the chance on the next day to play a great show, and the bad show is forgotten. So if you're in the studio and record a bad album, that will last your whole life.
There you go. So last year you released Touch Us Into, sort of rejuvenating the classic Sinner songs, added 2 or 3 new songs in there as well. Are you going to be doing that with any more of the Sinner stuff to sort of recapture? Because I know a lot of it had to do with the fact that, you know, legal aspects of getting your songs back.
Yeah. I think I will plan a new Sinner album for 2015 with new tracks. The band is great. We will play a small tour next year at the end of the year, and I think after that we're going into songwriting and recording a new album.
Of course, and then you already mentioned you're going to be doing Prog Power with Voodoo Circle, first time in the States doing that, I believe. You do a lot of work with Alex and, you know, Silent Force and all the other stuff that you do with him, and of course he's in Primal Fear now. What is that connection with Alex that works so well for you?
Well, we know us since a long, long time, and we found a kind of balance in working with each other that it makes a lot of sense to work together. So musical-wise, production-wise, human-wise, social-wise, we're on kind of same level of things, and the good thing is he has his talents in these and that, and I have my talents in other things, and if we put it together, it's always a great thing is coming out. So Alex is a great friend, and totally appreciate his talent as a guitar player, and it's very nice to work with him. We always have a great communication, and that's why it works.
Nice. So bringing it all around full circle, bring it back to Primal Fear, which is the reason that brought us here today. You guys are going to be doing this massive tour this year. How much of the new album, Delivering the Black, are we going to get to hear this year?
I think we play half of it.
Nice.
Because we love the new album. We totally convinced, and we really think the fans will love to hear it. And we will play kind of a best-of set and include 5 songs of the new album.
Sweet.
We did this 4 years ago, and it was nice. And I'm really looking forward to what's happened this year.
You just want to get out there and deliver the black.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. An honor, of course. We look forward to seeing you when you come to the States. The new Primal Fear album is fantastic. Everybody needs to get out there and pick it up. And you did fantastic work on the new Silent Force record as well. Thanks so much, and we'll talk with you soon.
And get well soon, Rustin, yeah?
Thank you. Take care.
Ciao.